Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yesterday when we were doing this mantra, Purnam, Purnam is translated as whole, full, complete, meaning not lacking in anything. Because of the understanding that not lacking in anything, all seeking stops, all chasing stops. When you lack something, you feel the need to chase and get something. Now when you understand that it is Purnam, what happens? All chasing stops. So first indication of Purnam is chasing should stop. Why chasing? Why it should stop? What is the reason for this chasing to be stopped? It's like catching air. Try and catch air. How can you catch? You try and catch. But try and somebody. Try and catch it. What can you do? You cannot catch it because it just. So it is that futile. It is that futile chasing. Therefore, first thing Purnam says is stop chasing. Because the moment you are in a chase, there are consequences. If you want freedom from the consequences, you should stop chasing. You can never ask, I will continue to chase, but teach us how to be free from the consequences. That possibility doesn't exist. Or reconcile. What is reconciliation? If I chase, these are the consequences and I will be happy in misery. I will be happy frustrated. I will not complain about frustration. I will not cry about frustration. Either between the two you need to take a clear understanding. That is the first meaning, Purnam. The second meaning of the word Purnam is a mathematical meaning. In ordinary mathematics, the whole is the sum total of its parts. That is ordinary mathematics. In ordinary mathematics, the whole is nothing but the sum total of all the parts. In Purnam, that mathematics doesn't work here because you put all the parts together, you cannot say equal Purnam. That is the second meaning of the word Purnam. Okay. Take a simple example. There is a beautiful painting. Announce panliyo. Mobile. You forgot. Please. Naane pannitru. Switch off the mobiles. It should not be reminded. There is no need for reminder for this. Second indication of the word Purnam. Second meaning, second interpretation of the word Purnam is a higher mathematics. What is the higher mathematics? Ordinary mathematics says the whole is nothing but sum of the parts. All parts put together equals. Life has a different mathematics. Reality has a different mathematics. What is the difference? There are things that is valuable in nature, there are things that is so valuable that it can never be calculated like that. So Purnam is not Purnam is whole in the sense of the higher order of mathematics. The example of the rose flower you take. Take the example of the rose flower and see the rose flower. You can analyze the rose flower. You can analyze the rose flower. You can break up the rose into the component parts. What are the component parts? The chemicals, the water, the earth, all put together constitutes the flower. When you start analyzing it, the beauty disappears. Again, when you start analyzing, what disappears? The beauty disappears. So, how do you understand the beauty of the rose? You need to go to a higher level. From that higher level, the beauty will be understood. And that beauty doesn't come under any mathematics. The beauty doesn't come under anything because the beauty has no logic to it. The beauty has no reason to it. Either you see it or you don't see it. That's all. There are only either you see it or you don't see it. You can't say describe the beauty. You can't say prove the beauty. How can you prove the beauty? You cannot prove it. You see it or you don't see it. Analysis means breaking it up into component parts and knowing what it constitutes. Religion, Vedanta is synthesizing, getting to the core, putting everything together and seeing the more beyond all this. So, what is Purnam? Purnam is whatsoever you understand, the more that extra thing that is inconceivable makes it Purnam. So the second meaning of the word Purnam is this. Figuratively we said, you have 10 rupees, you give away 5 rupees, you are left with 10 rupees, 5 rupees. You have 10 rupees, you give away 10 rupees, you are left with 0. You have 10 rupees, you give away 5 rupees, you are still left with 10. You have 10 rupees, you give away 10 rupees, you are still left with the same 10. Meaning, how much ever you give, you never see it diminishing at all. That is Purna. Which is a very different state of understanding altogether. Normally, giving diminishes. You give something, it is diminishing. See, this is our problem. That's why we don't want to give. We cannot give at all. Why? Because you give, it starts diminishing. The moment you start giving, it is diminishing, isn't it? That's why we want to keep the so-called loved ones so tight. Why do you want to keep the loved ones so tight? Because love shared is love diminished. Love shared is love diminished. Therefore, if I love somebody, first thing I have to do is what? Put the person in the prison and keep. Because it is the prison that ensures that it is not shared. The moment it is shared, what happens? Diminishing. Now, those who understand Purnam says, how much ever you give, it doesn't diminish. Carefully follow. This is the Purnam. How much ever you give, it doesn't diminish. How much ever you receive, it doesn't add up either. This is Purnam. Again I repeat. How much ever you give, it doesn't diminish. Okay, now there are so many people giving you. What happens? Does it increase? No, it neither diminishes nor increases. This is something that is incomprehensible. Either Because we can understand diminishing and we can understand increasing. But we cannot understand how much ever you give, it remains the same. How much ever it is shared, it remains the same. How much ever you receive also, it is the same. That is called whole. That is called Purnam. Because any addition doesn't exist there. Anything that can diminish also is not possible. That is why this knowledge is called Brahma Vidya. That is the meaning of the word Brahman. Purnam and Brahman are one and the same. Brahman means, if you take the dictionary and look at the word Brahman, the dictionary will say Brahman means ever expanding. Ever expanding means how much ever you think you know, you have discovered, it is Purnam. To whatever extent you see, you say, wow, it is expanding. Actually, it is Purnam already. Sunil, are you able to understand the difference? It is Purnam already. Now you go on increasing the capacity of your telescope. You keep saying it is expanding, it is expanding, it is expanding. Now what is expanding? Your telescope is only expanding. Outside is always Purnam. So what does Purnam say now? It is only your change of perception that remains the same. What changes is your perception is what is changing. There is no change. Why? Because from the beginning it is Purnam, complete, whole. Therefore, the Upanishad wants to use a word that has so much of, where you can dig and take in so many meanings out of it. These are all the possible meanings. If you want to come up with your own, you can come up also. Because Upanishad gives us that flexibility. It says this is not the only thing. If you can come up with something, come up. But what you should not cross, you should not feel any addition or you should not feel anything diminished. Wherever you feel something is added or wherever you feel something is diminished, then it is not Purnam. Then it is not Purnam. Okay, if all this is not understood, start breaking. Another angle of Purnam. Okay, if the synthetic method is not understood, because synthetic method is philosophical. Okay, if the synthetic method is not understood, Upanishad says, we will cooperate with the breaking up. Start breaking. What you know, start breaking. More you break, more it is available to break. Because at any point of time it is breaking and coming to a point where it is nothing more to be left to broken. That point doesn't come at all. So he says either so Upanishad takes this is the Mimamsa method. The synthetic philosophical is the Mimamsa method. Analytical method is what nowadays we call a scientific method. Okay, if you don't understand that, take this method of breaking it up. You break. Take an atom and break. Where do you end up? You break and break and break. Still much more is there to break. And how it was taught in the Chandogya, that's how it was taught. The father took the mustard seed. Shvetaketu, the boy, wanted to know Brahman. Now, how to educate Brahman? So the father took he said, go to the kitchen and bring some. Anjara Potilendu, bring some. He would have said, bring that mustard seed, he would have said. And the boy bought one mustard seed. He said, You have seen mustard seed, no? You can't see it. You can't see it. Here, break it into two. He breaks it into two. Mathematically, mentally, actually you cannot break. Break it into two. Break that into two. Break that into... Keep on breaking. Keep on breaking. Where do you end? Will a point come where it becomes zero? Ordinary mathematics will say somewhere it should become nothing. But then those who know the reality of life say, you keep on breaking, you will find much more to break. At one point of time, you will stop. What? The futility of this knowing. The futility of this knowing. Puranic stories talks about it as every Shiva temple you go, there will be one goddess called Lingodbhavar or God Rupar. Every Shiva temple you go, there will be a linga called Linga Udbhava. So, there will be two gods there, no? Salambarsan, correct? He is the expert in all this. So, there is two. So, one is Vishnu flying high to see the height. Brahma boring down to see the end. Where is it starting? They are going. Still they are going. I don't know which yuga they started. They are still going. And you don't know which yuga Vishnu started flying. He is still flying. Because it cannot be. It is Purnam. It's Purnam. That's why it's called Purnam. These are all the various meanings of the word Purnam. That, all this we spoke about from the macrocosmic angle, Purnam. Now, Purnam Adha, Purnam Idam. The first mantra. Purnam Adha, Purnam Idam. That is Brahman. This is also Brahman. This means you. This here refers to you. That is Brahman. You are also Brahman. Then only it is Upanishad. That is Brahman. You are also Brahman. You are all sinners. You all have done a lot of bad things. Now you all should do good things. Get rid of it. And then you will become pure. If anybody starts talking that language, Upanishad will say, winding path. Rishika. This is the winding path. Yeah, winding path you have to. This is the winding path. You go. There you have to go. So many processes you have to understand. What? It is not from impurity to purity. How foolishly you have been imagining the impurity. The impurity is imagined. If the impurity is imagined, down the line all are down the line everything becomes imaginary only. So that is Brahman. This means you. The microcosm is Brahman. That is Brahman knowing. This is Brahman not knowing. So all that you got to do here is what? Know. If you don't know, what you need to do? Simply know it. That's all, isn't it? And he has already said, that is Brahman, this is Brahman. From Brahman, the Brahman came. From Brahman, the Brahman came. Having drawn out the whole from the whole alone remains. This whole word and all is very confusing. Replace it with the word God. Because we are more familiar with the word God, replace it with the word God. Write it, you will feel like laughing at this mantra. That is God. This is God. Say that. Because we are more comfortable using the word God, so replace the word God. So, how you will write now? Anybody read it now?
That is God. This is
God.
From the God, the God emerges.
Yes.
Having drawn out the God from the God, The God alone remains.
Avladhan. That's all. What is the complication in understanding this? That's all he said. Whole equals God. If the word whole is confusing, Brahman is confusing, Atman is confusing, infinite is confusing, replace it with the word God. It makes it so clear because we are comfortable with the word God. So replace it with this. So what happens? That is God. Understand? This is God. This means where now? The problem starts. When you say this is God, now where? From the God emerges. Because anything that comes out of God has to be God only, isn't it? Satan can never come out of God unless Satan was existing always separately from God. If there is only God, Satan also has to come from God only. And Satan coming out of God, you cannot call it as a Satan only. Change the perception. There is no such thing called Satan at all. Purnamada Purnamidam. Otherwise, how do you understand these words? I am trying to come up with words that we are more familiar with. Having drawn out the whole from the whole, God has taken God out of itself or himself or herself, we don't know, or put all the three together. What remains? God remains. Are you okay till now? For a person who has understood this, Shanti, that person is Shanti only. It's all God. What happens to you naturally? What will be your mental state? Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. 3 Shantis because 3 disturbances. Adhyatmikam, Adi Daivikam, Adi Bhautikam. 3 kinds of disturbances. Cosmic, environmental, internal. Any pursuit is disturbed. Any pursuit will have 3 obstacles. All pursuits will have these 3 obstacles. Either there will be a cosmic disturbance, isn't it? Or there will be an environmental disturbance or internal disturbance. So all pursuits will definitely go through these 3 obstacles. Here is a pursuit where these 3 obstacles cannot stop it. There are these 3 obstacles, but this pursuit, these 3 obstacles do not have any power to stop this. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. It is not saying quiet, quiet, quiet. It is saying you cannot do anything to me. Because this pursuit and you have no correlation. Otherwise, all the time you are looking for how to handle these 3, isn't it? All small GD questions. How to handle Adhyatmika problem, isn't it? 3 problems. Cosmic, environmental, internal. What is cosmic? We decide retreat, isn't it? And where we decided? Right on the ocean. Hoping some tsunami will come, isn't it? Hoping some tsunami will come, just wipe out the whole lot so easy, isn't it? Moksha has gotten straight away now. Right away moksha comes. That is a cosmic disturbance over which we have no, the earthquake, the rain. There is one kind of disturbance to a pursuit, that is cosmic. Another is environmental. Environmental will be ants, mosquitoes, isn't it? These are all environmental. Political disturbance, neighbors having a wedding party, isn't it? See, they are having a wedding party, they will have. Oh, we are doing Upanishadic retreat. Why should they have a wedding party? Why should they not have a wedding party? Because we all didn't have any other work to do. We are sitting here. They have some meaningful thing to do. They are doing. Why should we? That is external disturbance. The third is internal. So 3 disturbances is always encountered in all pursuits. All pursuits have these 3 dosha. Again I repeat, all pursuits have these 3 doshas. But here what the Upanishad is saying, that's why in every class we keep saying Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We keep saying that. Why? Because in this pursuit, those 3 disturbances cannot stop it. So it is like saying, don't try to disturb me, you all keep quiet. Because I cannot be disturbed. It's a statement. It's a statement of conviction. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. It's not telling them stop. Because how can it stop? You follow? You cannot tell them stop. How can you stop? It cannot stop. It's not going to stop. Still, what does it mean? It only a method of saying these 3 doesn't have any power over this pursuit. Whereas all human pursuits will be affected by any one of it or a combination. Again I repeat. All human pursuits will be affected by either one or a combination. Here, nothing can stop. But office inspections are till 9 o'clock. What do I do? Okay, winding path you will take, isn't it? Office inspection, what do I do? Winding path you will take. Nothing. Nothing is lost. Because you cannot escape it. How much ever you run away, how far you can run? You cannot. That's where another Upanishad says, it's like the kite flying. The kite flying thinks it is free. The kite that is flying thinks it is free. It is not free. It is thinking it is free. There is a string. You pull that string, the whole thing. So, Brahman, God, as it was saying, go how much ever you go, the final string is in my hands only. How far can you go? How much ever you try, indications will be given. How much ever you try to go away from me, indications will come. Some indication will wake you up. In Vedanta, we don't want indicators to come. We want to voluntarily come and learn it. That's the only difference. Here, we don't want indicators to teach us. We want to do it through our own. We want to do it through our own knowledge and understanding. Therefore, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. First mantra over. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya, Purnamadhaya, Purnameva Vasishyate. Understand it in one word. It's easy. Abundance versus limited resources. Then you will remember the whole sequence. For every mantra, I will give you one word, hint word. Just remember that. You can recollect the entire flow. Abundance versus limited resources. That's all. What is Purnamada saying? One sentence. Like that, for each and every mantra I have. Okay. When you go there, we will do. This is the invocatory prayer. We will go to the first mantra. 1 second. Yes.
Can you please explain what is that long winding path?
What is the long winding path? Coming. You are only introduced. She is asking, Rishika, you told her to ask, is it? She is asking, what is the long winding path? It is coming. What is the long winding path? Mantra 3 is going to say what is the long winding path. Mantras 9 to 14. The way he is condemning that long winding path, you will feel like running away. From the long winding path, not from the classes, from the long winding path. First mantra.
Isavasyopaniṣad
Isavasyamidagum sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitamagridharkasya siddhanam. Norot. Isavasyamidagum sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitamagridharkasya siddhanam. Om. All this. Whatsoever in the changing universe is provided by the Lord. By renouncing that, you may enjoy. Do not covet wealth. Do not covet anyone's wealth. Do not covet wealth. That's actual. So again, Upanishad starts with Om. Right in the middle of the Upanishad also mantra Om again comes. In no other Upanishad Om keeps coming. There will be a vichara of Om, but the mantra Om will not be repeated. Here again it starts with Om. All this. Here this refers to the world, including you. Here this refers to the world. All this in the changing universe is pervaded by the Lord. Second, by renouncing that, this is pervaded by Lord. All is pervaded by Lord. Then he says, by renouncing that, may you enjoy. Third, do not covet wealth. The entire Upanishad is these two mantras. This mantra and the next mantra. From 3 to 18 is an elaboration of these two mantras. Later Upanishad takes it up into detailed elaboration. So there are only these two mantras. Mantra 1 and mantra 2. First message. All this is pervaded by the Lord. Isha means Lord. All this is pervaded by the Lord. Renouncing that, all this is pervaded by the Lord, is an elaboration of Purnam. Understand that. All this is pervaded by the Lord is an elaboration of Purnam. Then he says, by renouncing that, you may enjoy. By renouncing that, you may enjoy. Very meaning of Isavasya, very meaning of the title is this. Everything is God's. That is the essential meaning of the word Isavasya. Everything is God's. The human mind tries to argue and say something is mine, something is not mine. Again, the human mind tries to argue something is mine and something is not mine. Isavasya says everything is God's. Everything is God's. So the word I and mine is dismissed. One who is free from this notion of I and mine is the third. By renouncing that. Now what are you renouncing? That. What is that now? Not God. I and mine. By renouncing that I and mine. So what had happened? That I and mine has become distant now. Previously, I and mine is the closest. What is the closest to you? The I and mine. first proclamation of the Isavasya collapses this entire structure. The entire structure of I and mine is collapsed. If you can't digest this, go to the next mantra. So here we will try to digest this. Here we will try to understand how the I and mine structure itself is collapsed. Are you okay till now? Now we are starting the confusion. Ash. Every time I ask, are you okay, means you should say no. Say no. Because the confusion is going to come next. The scope for desire exists only when you see a potential it can be mine. Again. Scope for desire exists only when you see a potential that it can be mine. If you can understand that it cannot be yours, will you have a desire? Will you? So, for you to have a desire, you have to believe what it can become. It can become yours. Isavasya says, it is God's. And you are that God. What are you chasing? It is not saying it is God's and stopping quite. It is saying it is God's and you are that God. What are you running behind? I and mine. Are you able to follow? Beautiful is this mantra. Again I repeat. The scope for desire, 10 times I am going to repeat it today. The scope for desire exists only when you believe that something can be made as mine. It can be made mine. Desire varum. The moment you understand it cannot be yours, you will never have a desire. Correct? So Isavasya says, look at the foolishness of all the structures that you have built. All the edifices that you have built, all the structures you have built is based on this fundamental mistake. What is that mistake? It can be mine. But again you will look at the next person. But sir, that person will get no. If nothing can be yours, nothing can be Reza's also. Ash. If nothing is yours, nothing is his also. It means nobody can say anything as mine. Therefore, Isavasya says, go to the other thing. Go to the other extreme and say everything is mine. That is Isavasya. You will follow? Instead of saying this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, say everything is mine. Instead of saying nothing is mine. Look at how they take it. Instead of saying nothing is mine and feeling sad, worried, and then looking at the other person saying, oh my God, she is having, sir, how to take it from that person and keep it in my pocket, how to do all that. Isavasya says, what foolish you are doing. Okay. Again, scope for desire exists only when you have the notion. You remove this notion, there is no scope for desire at all. Because from where it is going to come? Who's going to desire what? That's how Isavasya collapses this structure. For a person who has understood this, by renouncing that, by getting rid of that, what a joy it is. Because you walk in, everything is yours. Title deed is settled already. It is title deed is settled already. It is yours. It is yours. You just need to see it, that's all. You just need to see it. You see it, you understand. Everything is God's. Everything is God's. Then what about me? What is the answer? You are God? No. What are you asking? If everything is God's means everything is yours. That's why a wise person is comfortable everywhere. Ignorant person is very uncomfortable. You will feel very uncomfortable even to ask for a glass of water, isn't it? You want to go and ask for a glass of water, we feel uncomfortable. What will they think? How to do? No, let me. What all complications we do in life. Isavasya says, break this entire structure. And how do you break it? Desire is possible only when you believe it can be made yours. Again, are you okay till now? Are you okay till now? For ego to manifest, it needs a base. For ego to manifest, it needs a base. What is that base? I and mine is the base. Ego to stand, ego to manifest, it needs a base. And what is that base? The I and mine is the place. I is nothing but a collection of minds put together. What is I? What you call as I is nothing but a collection of you have collected a few things. When all the collections of all your collections put together, that becomes mine. My wealth, my building, my temple, my position, my name, my family, my problem, isn't it? That also you have to say. My problem also you have to say. Because you have to possess something. If the person doesn't have any possession, diseases will become their possession. Diseases will become their possession. That's why you go and tell them, you look very healthy today, they'll get very angry at you. You know that there are people, you go and tell them you look very healthy today, they'll get very angry. They'll say, what do you think? You don't know what is happening inside me. This head is aching, this stomach is aching. Now what becomes the possession now? The diseases become the possession. Now what to do now? Wealth is one disease. Wealth is one disease. So many diseases we have. Exaggeration of the disease. See, there are people, you have a conversation, first thing they will start talking about is their diseases, isn't it? You listen patiently. Next day you look at that person and say, "Innikku romba nalla irukele, romba cheerful irukele," try and tell that person. That person cannot stand, he cannot handle that. He will say, "You don't know what is happening inside me." Why? Because the diseases become the possession. The I needs the shelter of mind. The I is always in need of the shelter of mind. If all the minds is gone, the I collapses. So what Isavasya says, don't worry about the I, get rid of the mind, I goes away. That's the beauty. That is renunciation. Again, the I is held by the mind. So Isavasya says, leave the I behind, don't worry about the I. Get rid of, analyze all the mind and keep getting rid of the mind one by one. When the mind goes away, what goes along with the mind? The I also goes away. Because the I is the fabric. And the mind radang. You keep getting rid of it one by one. And every mind that you get rid of, every disease you are getting free from. And when every disease you are free from, you start enjoying. By renouncing that, you may enjoy. அப்படின்னா இங்க என்ன போடணும் தட்டுக்கு? I and mine. Yeah, அது very scholarly. Yeah. That putting I and mine is very scholarly. So don't put like that. Aparna. By renouncing disease, you will enjoy. Avladha. What is the disease? I and mine is the disease. Why it is called as disease? Because that which is not yours, claiming something as mine is a sin. Because it's not. How can you claim it as yours? That's why God says, you are allowed to use it. Use it as much as you want. The moment you say it is mine, it will be snatched away from you. That is Ramatirtha. Again I repeat, use it as much as you want. Enjoy it. Associate with it. Do everything with it. No problem. But we will not stop there. We will want to claim ownership. The moment I say something is mine, immediately it is taken away from you. Ramatirtha says that. Brihadaranyaka, same Veda, the Brihadaranyaka elaborates it in the conversation between Yagyavalkya and Maitreyi. It is elaborated in that conversation. So, renouncing the disease, you enjoy. Raj, okay till now? Are you okay? Is it okay till now? No. Who makes the claim vigorously? Who makes the claim vigorously? When you always have a doubt that it is not yours and somehow you want to make it yours. Again I repeat, it's a truth. Again, why the claim it is mine is made so vigorously, so strongly? We always claim things loudly to prove that it is ours. I make the claim so loudly, vigorously that it is mine, it is mine, it is mine. When I say it is mine, it is mine, it is mine, I know it is not a fact. But the claim that I am making it so loud, I am telling others what? I am telling others what? No trespassing. No trespassing. It is mine, no trespassing. It is mine, no trespassing. Isavasya says, renounce that. Renounce that. Renounce making a claim. Because for whom are you making it an announcement? When everything is yours, this announcement that it is mine itself makes no sense. Or it makes sense only when there are others who is competing and you have to tell them what? Don't trespass. Here comes the paradox of life. This is the climax. Here comes the paradox. What is the paradox? It becomes yours when you stop claiming it. It ceases to be yours the moment you claim it. The moment you stop claiming it, it becomes yours. The way to gain anything is to lose it. Isavasya it is. Able to understand now? The way to gain anything is to lose it. He who renounces receives. That is Isavasya. He who gives up gets. He who refuses to give up doesn't get anything. So if you want anything, what you should do? Just say no. Just say no. all our belief says, all our conviction says, if you renounce it, you cannot enjoy. If you own it alone, you can enjoy. Again, all our beliefs, all our conviction says, if you own it only, you can enjoy. If you renounce it, you cannot enjoy. But the law of life is paradoxical. How much ever you are willing to give up, that much you will get. Remember this law, you know how to live life. Again I repeat. Sunil, carefully follow. Again, beautiful law it is. Paradox is, how much ever you are willing to give up, that much you receive. If this is not understood, example. The person who wishes for honor and respect is sure to find what? A person who is seeking honor and respect, definitely honor and respect he will find, we don't know. But one thing he will find for sure. What? Dishonor and disrespect. In claiming it as mine, he has lost it already. You have lost it. You don't know that you have. By saying mine, you are losing. Tena tyaktena bhunjita. That's a Sanskrit. Beautiful mantra it is. Tena tyaktena bhunjitam. Tena tyaktena bhunjitam. Therefore, Isavasya takes it to the height. Renunciation is an illusion. What are you giving up? Are you able to connect now? Saying, very renunciation itself is an illusion. The biggest delusion of a human being is to say, I gave up. Turn back and say, what do you mean you gave up? For it is an illusion. First mantra, illusion of renunciation. Put it like that. First mantra says what? The illusion of renunciation. That is a sannyasi. Sannyasi doesn't say, I have renounced. Normally we think sannyasi means one who has renounced. You are seeing that person like that. What does that person say? What does the sannyasi say? Sannyasi say, I have not given up anything, for everything is mine. You follow? Listen to all this like a story and forget it. Don't take all this very seriously. If you take all this very seriously, consequences, I am not responsible. So you don't come to me after that. You take it seriously, it is your problem. We have no, Isavasya says, it's not my problem. I am only making a statement. Tena tyaktena bhunjita. May you enjoy through renunciation. Actually, enjoyment is renunciation. And what is enjoyment there? The moment you say something as mine, what a tension you have to be in. How alert you have to be, isn't it? You know, the most silliest thing is this example, you'll understand this. Two people say they are in love with each other and they will constantly spy on each other. Have you ever noticed it? Two lovers, they will meet. The whole world will think they are loving, no? Isavasya says, what a drama it is. They are constantly spying on each other, isn't it? You leave the phone, they will want to check. Who did you call? What did you message? Why this? Why all this? The moment you call something as mine, you have lost your peace. You want to lose your peace, or today no human being is peaceful because the claiming it as mine. So Isavasya says, when nothing is mine, what did I renounce? That's where he takes it to the height. Isavasya, this mantra is so beautiful because he says, when nothing is mine, what am I What am I renouncing? You have not renounced anything. This lifestyle is possible. This is the first lifestyle. We said 2 lifestyles, no? This is the lifestyle. First lifestyle that is possible is you can live life without saying mine. One lifestyle. The lifestyle, if not possible, then the another lifestyle. That lifestyle is that's not a very bad lifestyle or anything, but this has its own beauty, this has its own attraction. This is so wonderful is to live this lifestyle. What is that lifestyle? Where you say, nothing is mine. Isavasya says, what a talk you are giving, nothing is mine. You should say, Angada Sannyasi. Correct. Bharat. You say, nothing is mine, nothing is mine. Everybody may certify, what a great person of renunciation. Isavasya Rishi will laugh at you. He will say, you have not even crossed the elementary Vedantic study. That's why you say, nothing is mine, nothing is mine. And when you say nothing is mine out of self-pity, you will start crying at yourself. Have you ever noticed it? Correct? Nothing is mine. You will not be cheerful when you say nothing is mine. Actually, you will start, out of self-pity, you will start crying. Isavasya Rishi will laugh at you. Anshu. He will laugh at you. Say, what are you saying? Nothing is mine, nothing is mine. You should say, everything is mine. Look at the stance he takes. That is the Upanishad. And Isavasya doesn't prepare you and all and tell all this. At least other Upanishads prepares you and tells you. Isavasya doesn't know preparation, no nothing. Straight away it says, Purnamada Purnavidam, everything is yours. What are you worrying? Over. Upanishad is over. Straight away it starts. Everything is yours. Unnecessarily, you being the Brahman, you thought this I as you. That is where the problem is. What you think as I is not the I. Because of ignorance, this little self you have started calling it as I. This little self is there for you to interact with, use it. You should not say, it's me. You should never say, I am the car. You should say, I use the car. Correct? Again I repeat. You should never say, I am the car. You should say, I use the car. If you say, I use the car, if the car wheel gets punctured, you are not punctured. Isn't it? If you say, I am the car, start பண்ணும்போதே பயமா இருக்கும். Even when you are starting, there is a fear of what's going to happen. Where is this worry and anxiety coming from? Rajvel, புரியுதுல்ல? That's how the Upanishad starts. He says, it is so ignorant to say that I have renounced. Don't even make the statement I have renounced, because there is a negativity to it. I have given up. It's not, அதெல்லாம் கிடையாது. Upanishad takes a positive approach to life. The saddest part is Upanishad is seen as the negative approach. Whereas this alone takes the only positive approach to life is what everything is yours. You are allowed to use it. Yeah. I have 50 bodies to use. I have 500 bodies to use. I have 5 million bodies to use. I have the entire universe to use. But never I should call anything as mine, because the moment you call something as mine, you have started coveting. Do not covet. See, do not covet anyone's wealth. At the first level of interpretation, we always have to say, don't go and steal. When everything is yours, are able to say how that interpretation itself will not fit in here. That interpretation itself will not fit in here, because when it is spoken at that level, you don't expect that fellow to suddenly come down and say, don't be jealous of others' wealth, don't steal. He says, what is that, what you call as wealth is your dependency. Again I repeat, what you call as wealth is what you are dependent upon. Anything that you are dependent upon becomes your wealth. Wealth here doesn't mean the actual currency wealth. It means anything that you are dependent upon. What are the wealth that you are dependent upon? One is the actual material wealth. Another is the jana that you have, the parivar around. That is another wealth. The third is punya. Nariya punya sambadhikano, sir, they say, isn't it? In the local language, you have to earn a lot of punya, isn't it? You have to earn family. You have to earn wealth. What is this earning? What is this earning? Because your security, your safety, your security lies in that. So wealth means that which provides you safety and security becomes your wealth. Are you okay till now? And what is the nature of this world? It is changing. How can anything changing can provide you with security? You can use it, you can interact with it. That problem, as far as you are doing that, there is no problem. Where the actual problem starts, when you actually start saying, in that lies my security. So anything that provides you with security becomes wealth. Do not covet wealth. Do not covet wealth means understand you are allowed to interact with them, you are allowed to use them, but you cannot find security in them. If I study all this, what will happen to me, sir? That becomes the wealth now. Are you able to follow? If I study all this, if I understand all this, what will happen to me? From another angle, the eye has to survive. The eye will not. The eye will not. You will, somehow it will come back and say, what will happen to me if I do all this rightly? God only knows what will happen, isn't it? Or at least one thing will surely happen. You will go more mad, that's all. Yeah. Madder. Maddest word in English, I don't know. Madder. So you will just becoming more and more and more mad only. Have you ever observed where accumulation starts, mental problems becomes more? Shakespeare, where wealth accumulates, men decay. That's why accumulation beyond a point wasn't advocated at all. We don't understand this mathematics. We believe that more and more you accumulate and keep, more safer you will be. In fact, it is exactly the opposite. Isn't it? Advanced societies, the mental problems are much more. Whereas in advanced societies, mental problems should not be there at all, logically speaking. Isn't it? But then you don't. Why? The very nature of accumulation, what does it do to you? The very nature of accumulation makes you so dependent. The dependency becomes a vulnerability. And then you continue to, and then everything follows. So what does he say here? Magrida kasya siddhanam. So the mantra, first mantra, Isavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. This jagat is changing, moving and unmoving. This jagat means that which is the moving and unmoving. We are all moving. The chairs don't move. So what is the definition of the universe? Combination of moving and unmoving. Though moving, though unmoving, both are changing. Because the very nature of the moving and unmoving is one. What? Change. He who understands this is free. He who understands this is free. Free from what? Free from the fear. Free from fear, free from insecurity. Everything is there and no fear also. What a joy it is, isn't it? Everything you are surrounded by, you have everything. At the same time, no fear also. What joy is that? What life is that? That is the sanya. That one lifestyle is possible. One lifestyle is possible like that. You can do this now. You can do it now. If you can't do it now, that is the winding path. If you can't do it now, you have to take such a long winding path to come where? To come here only. To come here, you go through such a long winding path. Why do you have to do that? Simply understand it here. What? Isavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitam magrida kasya sviddhanam. What are you calling it as wealth? When you are that already. When you are that already, what are you calling it as? My safety lies here, my security lies here. If I have it, what will happen? Oh, since I don't have it, borrow now, loan wangano, isn't it? And everything is yours, Bhaskar. Constructive purposes loan. He only said constructive purposes loan. When everything is yours, there is no constructive purposes loan because it is all, it's there already. It is there already. All that you have to do is what? Remove the curtain. The light is there. Full curtain pottanga, isn't it? The curtain, because camera, lighting should be good. All that you need to do is what? Remove the curtains. 16 mantra, he is saying remove the golden curtain. It's not a dark curtain. 16 mantra is going to say remove that curtain that is golden curtain it is. Oh, I don't know how it gets golden. Yeah, he says it's a golden curtain. Remove that. So he is saying this lifestyle is possible. You will say, no, it is not possible because I cannot live without I and mine. Out, isn't it? All 1 hour 15 minutes shouting is of no use now. Because what is the conclusion? I cannot live without I and mine. Now what do I do? Mantra 2 question. If I cannot do that, no, I will give you another method. If you cannot live without I and mine, I will give you another method. Yes, Shankar.
So just now you said, the moment I say mine, it will be snatched, it will be taken away.
Yes.
And when I say everything is mine, so everything will be taken away.
Where it will go? It can't go anywhere. Where it will go? Everything is not limited. Everything is not million. Everything is not 100 million. Everything is not 1,000 million. Where it will go? Million, billion, trillion, zillion. I don't know what all it is. Put all that. Where it will go?
In the limited area, when I say it's not mine, that area I will not be.
In the limited area, if you say it is not mine, you will suffer.
Even then.
Yes. That's why you have to say totally. That's why renunciation can never happen in pockets. You cannot say, in pockets you cannot say it. Because where you say it is not mine, that will agitate you more. Because previously you are so convinced it is mine. Are you able to follow? See, previously you are so convinced it is mine, now you say it is not mine, you are agitated. Not only you are agitated, somebody is enjoying it. Double problem now, isn't it? You are agitated, someone else is enjoying it. Stomach burning. Vaitharichal சொல்லுவாங்க அது, isn't it? How do you say? What is the English word for that?
Heart burning.
Heart burning, stomach burning. See, you are suffering. You say, first of all, foolishly you said it is not mine and you gave up. And someone else is enjoying it now. Now two problems for you. What are the two problems now you have? You correct. You don't have it. You don't have it. Second, the fellow who you don't want to have is having. Angada problem. Correct? Are you able to follow? See, first of all, I don't. Me having it is also I'm okay. Sir, but aurukku kadachadu pathingala, that fellow is having. Oh my God. That corrupt politician having it, gosh, it is not possible, sir. Why God is not punishing them, sir? Are you able to follow? So, when you say, when you give up, what you give up? The mindness that you associate with everything, you give up. What are you giving up? The mindness that you attach to it, you give up. That mindness that you attach mentally is the problem. So what are you giving up here? The mental thing. The moment you say it is mine, you lost it. What have you lost? See, you say mine only to be happy. Object is there, but what did you lose? That's all. So the moment you say this is mine, the very purpose of saying something as mine is for what? It's to enjoy, to be happy. The moment you say this is mine, what do you lose? The very purpose of it is lost. Then what are you left with? A burden. Then what are you left with? A burden. So enjoyment is lost. 20 years of EMI alone is left and someone else is enjoying it. This is the sad history of all human beings. Are you able to follow? Agrada kasya svidana. What are you giving up? What are you giving up? A great reward is given to you from today. Why? Because you stopped stealing. Is that a thing to be rewarded? Will you reward a person who stopped stealing? No. It is something that this is how you are supposed to. Very ordinary thing is what? You should not steal. How do you steal? Sir, I have never stolen. I have paid the taxes also properly. Legitimate earnings. Yeah. அவர் என்ன சொன்னாரு? என்ன purposes loan he said? Constructive purposes. Yeah. So constructive purposes loan, legitimate earnings. Sir, legitimate earnings are mine, no sir? What is the legitimacy in that? There is no legitimacy in that. Why? Because you have completely forgotten the direct and indirect support that helped you to get that, and you started hoarding it, calling it as mine. How can you forget that support? Don't you think it's your duty to give to them also? And when you give it to them, are you doing anybody any favor? You are living a very simple life, and that simple life is a life of a sannyasi, the life of a spiritual person. This lifestyle is possible. This is one lifestyle possible. Are you okay, Shankar? Did I answer you? Yeah. So don't say limited and all, you don't give up. Stomach burning will increase. Yes, Sunil.
Sir, you said the renunciation has to be complete.
Yes.
Total.
Yes.
But in this practical life, understanding this in the background of the first
Yes.
sloka,
Yes.
when you start implementing in your life,
Correct.
now,
How? Correct.
how can it be total at a time?
Yes.
It can only be sequential.
Yes. He's saying, don't take away everything from me like that. Take away bit by bit. No. Why are you taking everything away from me at the same time? Class, why do you make me bondi straight away? What he is saying is, don't make me bondi straight away. Make me bondi little by bit. No. Sunil. Without feeling the pinch. Correct. Without feeling the pinch. There is a different lifestyle. For those, there is a different lifestyle, which is not an inferior lifestyle. Please understand that. When we go there, that's where that is the compassion of the Upanishad. See, when we glorify this, and when we go to the next lifestyle, it will glorify it so well that you will understand that both lifestyle is going to take you to the same goal. We are not talking in hierarchy here, Sunil. That's why we said, the very first session said there are two lifestyles, but both will take you to the same goal. Pravritti marga and nivritti marga. The route that you take is two, but goal is the same. Therefore, you understand this lifestyle is possible. If I cannot do this lifestyle, there is another lifestyle. But by taking to that lifestyle, you are not losing anything, because the same goal is reached to them. They also reach the same goal. Therefore, you don't lose anything. So when we glorify this path, this looks so wonderful. See, that's how we can explain. That is the problem of teaching itself. When you have to explain something, you have to glorify it so much that rest should look inferior. Are you able to understand the methodology of teaching now? The methodology of teaching is, when you have to explain something, you have to magnify it. You have to glorify it. When you magnify it and glorify it, all the other will look inferior. That is not the intention. The intention is, this is so meaningful is the intention. This is so meaningful is the glory here. So don't worry. Sunil, you will not become a bondi. Are you okay? Vijay. Give her the mic, no? 1 second.
You said the scope for desire exists because there is something in it for me or for mind. Is there any exception to this? How do I understand mumukshatva with reference to this statement?
Yeah. The question that she is asking is, the scope for mumukshatva as a desire. The scope, as I said, desire itself can exist only when there is a scope for I and mine in it. Now, what is mumukshatva? Mumukshatva is also an intense desire. What is mumukshatva? Mumukshatva is contentment and satisfaction in relation to the world. The last bit of that experience of Aham Brahmasmi is missing. That is mumukshatva. Again I repeat. What is mumukshatva? Mumukshatva is the final stages. What is the final stages? Contented with relation to the world fully. What is missing? The last bit is missing. What is the last bit? That I am not able to say Aham Brahmasmi. I am not able to say that. How much ever I have heard it a million times. How much ever I have heard it a million times. Aham Brahmasmi is still. So what is mumukshatva? Mumukshatva is a a longing where the meaningless is still holding on to, the meaningful is not yet revealed. The last bit of the meaningless is still there and the meaningful is not yet revealed. So what is mumukshatva? Wanting to let go of the last trace of the meaningless. Wanting to let go of that. That is mumukshatva. The intense desire for, the intense longing, intense desire for that meaningful to happen, the oneness to happen, the aikyam to happen. That is mumukshatva. Therefore, here in the mantra 1, he is talking about a desire in relation to the objects and beings, believing that objects and beings security through them. Mumukshatva is not asking for anything. Mumukshatva is simply saying that which is my right, I should get. It's my right. Aham Brahmasmi is my right. Mumukshatva is just claiming that right. Understand it like that. Otherwise, all along we talk mumukshatva means intense thirst for liberation, pushing the man's head under water. At that time, what he will want for? At that time, only want a. All this is okay at the second lifestyle level. All these definitions are right in the context of the second lifestyle. So in the second lifestyle, the off-quoted meaning of certain words becomes very clear in the second lifestyle. In the first lifestyle, it doesn't apply. You follow? Vijay? Okay? 1995, she is asking the same question only. Where are we now? She is asking the same. Yes, Raghu. Yeah, I'll come to you. Wait. Raghu.
Everything is pervaded by Brahman or God, and I am that as well.
Yes.
But how can we say that I am changed? Because Brahman is unchanged.
Yes.
I am Brahman, then I should also be unchanged.
Yes.
Why does this say whatsoever in the changing universe?
He's saying it is the Jagat, the universe. It is the Jagat that is changing, not you. It is the Jagat that is changing, not you. If you say there is no Jagat also, there is no I, there is no Jagat, then we come to the third level. What? Sarvam Brahmamayam. Then we come to that level. Sarvam, there is a song, no? Sarvam Brahmamayam. Everything is Brahman only. A lifestyle to take us to that path. A lifestyle to take us to that goal. So here we are talking about a lifestyle that will take us to that goal. So in the lifestyle there are two things. One is what is it that you should do rightly and how you should understand the external rightly. And what is the nature of the external? That is called Jagat, and that constantly is changing. Your shoka has no meaning. Ashochanan vashochastvam pragyavadansya bhashase katasuna katasunscha nanushocanti panditaha. Verse number 11, chapter 2. The shoka itself has no legitimacy. No sorrow in the world has any legitimacy. Anybody comes and says, I am in pain. Anybody comes and says, I am in sorrow. Your sorrow has no legitimacy at all. Why? Because anyway it has to change. That which has to change by nature, how can it produce sorrow? So, sorrow is not produced by that. Sorrow is produced by your wrong understanding of it produces sorrow. That doesn't produce sorrow because that is its nature. That is its nature. Are you able to follow? So, no sorrow has anybody complaining of pain, sorrow, suffering has no legitimacy whatsoever. A different lifestyle altogether. Why? Because it is all Isavasyopaniṣad sarvam, all that mantra follows. You follow what I am saying? So in the lifestyle, when we are talking about a lifestyle, a path is coming down to our level and cooperating with us. Because he is giving a lifestyle to get to the goal. First mantra, Purnamada, described the goal. Now there are two lifestyles to get to that goal. Are you okay, Raghu?
I have two questions. The first question, you said everything is mine. So what is that with reference to? And is it an attitude or action?
Say that again.
You said everything is mine.
Yes.
So what is it with reference to? When you say everything is mine,
Yeah, correct.
is it an attitude or action?
Everything is mine is both an attitude and action. It's both an attitude. Where there is a right attitude, it will naturally follow into action. Therefore, we need not talk about action at all because it is attitude will flow into action. When you say everything is mine, there is no otherness at all. Wherever you go, you don't feel it as otherness. See, it is the otherness that you feel. Wherever, at some places you feel so comfortable. Why? Why? In some place you feel so hesitant. Why? In some place it is yours. Comfortable. Otherness. In some places it is otherness. That's why we say, oh, no, hope I am not troubling you. What do you mean, hope I am not troubling you? You are a trouble anyway, he will say. What do you mean, hope I am not troubling you? There is no trouble. This otherness. What, when you say everything is mine, what goes out? Wherever you go, you feel you are part of it. You walk into a house, you feel you are part of the house. So you are so comfortable there. Otherwise, there is always that resistance, isn't it? Sitting at the edge of the sofa, isn't it? Ready to run away. Why? Because otherness. It's not mine. The moment it is mine, I will sit very relaxed. Otherwise, always sitting at the edge of the sofa, isn't it? They say no. Mullu Uttarada, they ask, isn't it? Why can't you sit relaxed? Is there some thorn or what that you can't sit even properly? When you say everything is mine, the thorn is removed. Any place you go, you are so comfortable. That's why the sannyasi says, so much is there, why do I have to say something as mine? Because I go here, it's mine. I go here, it's mine. There is no otherness. There is no otherness at all. Are you able to understand now? That's how it works. Opposite of that, I said, even to ask for a glass of water will be hesitant. What will they think? That we should not, why trouble them? So much of otherness. It's an attitude. Mineness is an attitude, otherness is an attitude. When both is dissolved, it will flow in action. It will flow in action. Automatically it will flow in action. You follow? Okay?
My second question is addressed.
Addressed, Oh my God. Last question, Bhaskar. Second lifestyle poga vidamatendraanga. I thought we'll go to the second lifestyle and finish it off, I thought. Yes.
With respect to first mantra, the invocation, talk about the mathematical formula.
Yes.
5 plus 5, 10 minus 5 is still 10. So,
Sorry, say that again. What did I say?
10 minus 5 is still 10.
10 minus 5 is 10. How can it be? That is wrong. Whoever taught you, they taught you wrongly. 10 minus 5 is 5. That's all. Yes.
So the thing is, to get that suction, so what makes us...
No, I couldn't hear you.
For us to get that understanding, sir.
Yes.
10 minus 5 is 10.
Yes.
So what we should conceive is, that is that providence which is always there to support us.
Yes.
That's the reason we say 10 minus 5 is. So the source of giving that is still with us.
Yes.
So we are not losing anything. Is that the understanding?
Yes. There are words that you can use. A few words you use to understand how 10 minus 5 is. There are words. I'll give you the list of those words. Use those words, you will understand how 10 minus 5 is. Don't go and teach all this to Anugrahava. Yes, he is learning all this only to go and teach Anugraha now. The few words. Gratitude. There are few words that is there that teaches us. Gratitude. Giving. Ocean. Space. Abundance. All these are synonymous to Purnam in the relative sense. Use all these words. You can practice any of these. Are you able to follow? Again I repeat. Few words. There are few words. What are those few words? The hint words with Allah. Yeah. That's how I have it mentally. A hint word, clue words, hint words. 1 or 2 words you keep, and then you can build one whole story around it. Just a few words you keep. Gratitude. Keep that word gratitude. You are grateful today. Next day, will your gratitude diminish? Will it diminish? How can it diminish? In fact, what happens the next day? So much it is growing. Actually, it is so much that how much ever you give, you are still so blissful. Correct? Gratitude. As an inner quality. If gratitude as an inner quality in abundance you find it difficult, use the concept of space. Use the concept of ocean. If you want to understand it theoretically, use space, ocean, etc. You want to understand experientially, use gratitude, love. You will understand this mantra. Experientially, if you want to understand this mantra, use gratitude, love, etc. If you want to understand it theoretically, use the example of space, ocean, etc. Hint words are useful for manana. That's why I'm giving this word. So you keep, so something you can use. Isn't it? You love somebody. When you love someone else, what happens? Is the love diminished? Doesn't diminish. You can love and you can still love much more. It means it is in abundance. It means it is in abundance. Are you okay, Bhaskar? Practically?